What's going on, guys? Day 17 here of my 90 days of YouTube challenge, and goddamn, I would be lying if I said this was easy, okay? And I want to define easy here in this circumstance, which is that it's not hard. Like, the work is not complicated. It's not, physically demanding. It's not, very difficult to set up an iPhone and shoot a video. But what is challenging as I do this is tapping into the right energy, the right state, while I have billions of things happening at the same time, and a commitment that I made not only to myself but to the public in doing these videos, and then new information, new things coming up that I could very easily say to myself, this is more valuable than what I had committed to, because obviously my YouTube isn't huge right now, but it's, we'll get somewhere eventually. And even if we don't, that's beside the point. We started this project, so we're gonna fucking finish it. And as I have this new information, these new opportunities arise, I'm signing new clients, I'm learning new things, like new things that I would love to do with my YouTube page. I'm having people request different things from me now. I have to train myself to complete what I have started based on the original intent, which is refining the message of my page, my work, my whole communication, this voice, this feeling that I'm called to share, and complete it fully before I proceed to the next steps. Because by doing this right now, it sets me up for success, and it sets up this page, and it sets up the relationship that we have here on social media for success. Because at the end of the day, what this is about bringing together people that share the same values, who are inspired by the same things, and who want to participate in this wild, wild idea that I've conjured up from my own creative pursuits, okay? And if I do that wrong, I sacrifice the opportunity that not only me, but everyone here who follows and who is invested in me in some capacity, I sacrifice their opportunity to see that through and to actually be a part of that long term. And that keeps me up at night, knowing that there is a community of people out there who have heard me make commitments and who are waiting and banking on me to fulfill on them, and how simple it would be for me to let them down. That fucking keeps me up at night. And sure, we could argue that, like, fuck everybody else. Fuck everybody, do what's important to us. And I've done a lot of that in my life. But I've gotten to the point now where I realize that money alone won't satisfy me. It's a tool, it's a resource, and I like spending it a lot, clearly, which I could talk more about. Sex is great, it's a necessity, but it's not what will fulfill me. Relationships and having kids by itself is not enough, but it's starting to get to the point where there's now other people that are involved in serving other people, and a responsibility for people we have chosen to, to bring into our world. It's the service of an inspired path, a chosen commitment, a chosen obligation that is truly fulfilling, to me at least. And I see this echoed across many of the male speakers and even just anybody who has committed themselves to something more than just their self-satisfaction, is that you sort of satisfy yourself enough to the point where you now need to spill over and invest your awarenesses, your personal development, your self-mastery into other people, and you dedicate it for a greater good, a greater purpose, a greater calling. And that's where the sense of completion and of success really comes from. So maybe some people, it takes them longer to get to this place. I find myself here now, and I'm grateful because I get to start this process, this journey of truly going out of my way to do things that are bigger than just my own self-satisfaction, and being able to fulfill myself in the process by building the businesses that pay me and everyone involved very nicely for making these services available, and doing it in a way where those who are investing into it are happy to. This is something that was a struggle for me growing up, and is something that many people probably experience when they go into commerce and business, which is that it's very often that you feel you're trying to convince people of something. Like you have to drag them, or like exact willpower on them to drag them across the line. And I've done enough of that where, I mean, in many cases, the person needed it, and in the end, they thanked you for it. But it's not the kind of business that I like to do. I'm interested in creating a more fluid experience where the information and the awareness of the offer itself is enough to sell the offer, because it's addressing a real problem that an individual is actually facing and is willing to pay to solve immediately, like right now. And in order to get to that place, it takes time, and it takes actual consideration of those who are receiving the work to be able to communicate it back to them. Because I've also been guilty of this in the past, of projecting what I consider to be valuable on other people and being confused at why they didn't want to participate, or why they didn't buy into something right away. And I'd be like, oh, they don't understand, they're dumb, they don't get it, whatever. Sometimes this is the case, right? We will expect other people to value what we value, but at the end of the day, they're only going to value what they value. And if you convince them or manipulate them or influence them any other way by using pressure tactics, you will move them across the line and they'll be bitter. And this is what a lot of people are doing, right? And if they're not doing it successfully with the impact that has, they are not selling anything because they still don't understand how to communicate with people. And so with this moment in time, to bring it back to the original subject, is that even though it is challenging to sit here and come up with a new topic every day for 90 days that actually moves the needle forward and is growing the page and the brand and the message, it is important and it's valuable. Even now, being able to sit here with this funny mic, and then hopefully this time it's actually recording, because the last one I posted wasn't recording and it was still phone audio, but at least we had the mic in the shot. The camera scene is better. And I'm now spending more time, more energy in creating a better foundation. And this was ultimately the real goal of going bare bones, was to get back to authenticity, to get back to the creative expression that originally drove me. Because somewhere along the path, I felt that I'd lost myself. I felt that I lost my relationship with why I was producing these beautiful images and these like wild worlds that only I could see. And I felt like I was distracting people, and I was, what's the word? I was taking them off path by creating these wild, attractive experiences. And it was because I wasn't internally right with it. I didn't know where I was going. And so for the past couple of years, it seems I've gone on a rediscovery of a removal process, you could say, getting rid of all of the excess and the fluff and the fantasies and like anything that wasn't truly me, to build a strong self, to then come back to this place and then to build the foundations of creative expression on top of that. And to many, this has certainly been confusing, because they know I'm professionally trained videographer and editor. I'm a music video director by trade. I've shot, filmed, directed, edited, published videos that have been viewed all over the world. I was working in the film industry in Vancouver. I was one of the top paid consultant for Netflix production, doing graffiti full time, and also working in the camera department, working on projects like Power Rangers and other blockbuster films, and then indie films and street videos and all of this stuff. And I'm also a professionally trained graphic designer and illustrator, and I can draw, and I can paint traditionally. I can do all of these things, and I see the confusion from people around me about why I'm not utilizing these skills and why I'm not producing what I used to produce at arguably a very high level. And it was because I wasn't who I wanted to be underneath it all. I felt that if I continued to go down that path, I will have created a world of success that, while it looked beautiful and polished on the outside because I can do it very well, internally I wasn't where I wanted to be. And if I was going to do that, it had to be built on a strong foundation. And I feel that just now, we are getting to that point where that foundation is starting to make enough sense that I can start adding the aesthetics on top of it. I can go back to creating a world. I can show people what I see under the surface, or just a different tone of frequency that lives in everyday moments, that is beautiful and inspiring and sexy and cool. And it's the world that I've always seen. And now I can build that on top of stable foundations that I know when people engage with it, it's going to make their lives better. It's going to take them to a destination that is actually meaningful and powerful for them, their families, and everyone who encounters them. And so the pursuit of this path and moving along this personal development, purging of fuckery and, uncertainty and unrefined identity has allowed me to come back to this place right now and to speak the way that I do, to appear the way that I do, to love who I see in the mirror, and to know that the work that I'm doing is actually helping people in a massive way. And now what has emerged as a result of this is this used to happen. I had clues of this all in my younger years, where I would get feedback about this, but I didn't have the relationship with what I was doing. So I had to go on this personal development journey anyways. But I'd constantly be asked about how I'm able to appear in a certain way in front of groups, and to speak a certain message with certain conviction, and to present myself in a way that had this allure, this magnetism, this energy. People always say energy. It's about the energy. And I'm sure you're feeling, just in listening to me speak, that there's something else going on that allows me to do what I'm doing. And it moves the crowd, it motivates people to excellence, and it gives them permission to go further than what the rest of the world has said is possible for them. And this is what it's all about. And so with this video, it feels like a solidification, and I hope this mic is recording, because last time that was annoying. But you're seeing it here in real time, day 17 of 90, the evolution of my content creation, returning back to the powerful state where I can share with you guys incredible, exciting videos, and we go deeper and actually take you along for the ride to demonstrate the adventure, to publicize the adventure in a manner that gets you guys fucking going and gives you guys permission to take a bet on yourself and to make a difference in this world. So that's what I got for you guys today. I'm super stoked to be able to have a better dynamic here on my social, on my page. It looks a little sexier. It's going to give me a bit more enthusiasm, and hopefully you guys an even better experience. Then now we get to build on stable foundations. And so with that, love you guys, leave you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bow, let's get it popping.